Hi, everyone. Welcome. Thanks for tuning in here today. I'm super excited to be kicking off another Monday Motivation. Bear with me for just a moment. I am testing, also streaming this live in our Facebook group. So I'm multitasking. And it's my first time doing this. So I apologize if there's a little jumping all over the place trying to get to comments and what's going on in both places. But so excited to be here today. So it's the last day of February, and I'm kicking off March a day early. Since we're the Monday before the first of the month, it makes sense to jump in today. And really excited that March is here. March is a really special month in our community. We celebrate Women's History Month in March, which is a great opportunity for us to celebrate, remember, and support the women who have helped pave the way for all of us. On March 8th, we celebrate International Women's Day, which has been celebrated since 1911, over 100 years. Its twofold message now remains the same as when it started: to celebrate the social, economic, cultural, and political achievement of women, but also to mark a call to action for accelerating gender parity. So I hope you'll join me for a number of the initiatives that we have planned for the month. We have lots of exciting things on the schedule, and it's a great time to be involved in the community and to connect with everything that we're going to be celebrating and sharing and supporting throughout the month. Let's see if I can get these to advance. Okay, it looks like it's working. All right, so my plan for today, we're going to go through upcoming events, what's new in the community, where to engage. I'm going to talk about building authentic connections to help power your success. And I'm going to share resources from within the community. If you have any questions while we're live here today, pop them in the chat box on Zoom, or you can put them in the live feed on Facebook. I'll be monitoring both, but definitely reach out. Let us know if there's any questions, anything that pops up or comes to mind as we go through this today. Before we begin with the events, I do want to share a link to the Share Your Ask form, because it's a great opportunity for us to start connecting. So on Zoom, I just put that in the chat. Give me a moment. I'm gonna get it in the Facebook group now as well, and then I'll tell you what this is all about. So the Share Your Ask, if you haven't been to one of our networking events before, the Share Your Ask is a Google form where you have an opportunity to share your contact information as well as an ask with the community. So on this form, we want to know, how can the IAW community support your success? And that can be personally, professionally, anything you need help with right now. So some of the things that we see show up on the Share Your Ask form are things like, I'm looking for a marketing job in the Boston area. Can anyone connect me? Or I'm looking for somebody to help do my taxes. I'm looking for a business coach. I'm looking for someone to review my resume. Anywhere where you're looking to connect with a person or a resource, pop it in that form and let us know. What happens is, once we collect all of your responses, and I'll leave this open until tonight at midnight Pacific time, tomorrow you'll get an email that includes a link to all of those responses, and you'll be able to go through and scan and see, who can I start connecting with today? Where can I provide some value? Who can I help? So it's a great way of sort of expanding your network with a group of like-minded women. Now I'm going to jump in and talk about why this is so important in a few minutes once I get into the building authentic connections. The Share Your Ask is a great tool for you to provide, share your ask, right? Put out there, what are you looking for? How can we help you right now? But then also to go back through and see where do people need help? Where do people need support? All right, I realize on my chat, I will apologize. Thank you, Gloria Jean. In Zoom, there, try now. I was only chatting with hosts and panelists. So now I've sent it to everyone. So if you're on Zoom, you should see that link now. If you have any challenge, oh, good, you got it. Perfect. Thank you for confirming. It's also linked in the Facebook group as a comment on the live feed. So if you want to access it there, that's great. And this is a great opportunity for you to share your contact information. So you'll receive a list back of other people that are looking to network, looking for similar resources. It's a really, really busy month here at IAW. We have some incredible events lined up. I'm super excited about all of our speakers this month, but to dig right in. So Horizon Insights, every Wednesday we host a live webinar. So we'll have 3 live webinars. And at the end of the month, we end with a panel discussion. So I bring all 3 of those webinar presenters back, and we have a really engaging conversation about the topics we discussed. All month long, our theme is Rise Again. So it's really tips and resources to help women power through change, power through launching new businesses, power through your career, power through any challenge that comes your way. We did the format of panel discussion in January and February, and those discussions are fantastic. So you can also go back and catch the replays if you missed them. But the questions that come up and the conversations we're able to engage in are really supportive. So you watch the live webinars and then you come back and tune in for the conversation, and it makes for some powerful conversation. We have 2 leadership lab sessions planned this month. So first, March 1st, we have Dr. Tiffany, how to leverage stress and self-doubt for high performance leadership. And then on March 24th, we have Suzanne Castle for more joy, more ease, more success. Our local chapters will be meeting March 15th, March 17th backtrack. The Eastern and Central regions will be on March 15th. The Pacific region chapters will be March 17th. Global is on March 22nd. London is on March 10th. We also have speed networking later this week on March 3rd, which is always a fun, power-packed hour of kind of fitting in lots of connections. And then finally, our virtual summit is on March 12th. If you were around last year, you maybe attended our Inspirational Influencer Summit. So we're repeating that format. We've got a lineup of amazing speakers planned. We're going to have keynotes, we're going to have workshops, we're going to have panel discussions, some incredible ladies, really powerful content during the summit on March 12th. There's also a pitch contest and women's empowerment grant. We closed the applications for those on Friday. We had over 400 people apply for the grant and pitch contest. So we're going through all of those entries now, and our finalists will be announced on Friday. As well, in the summit with all of our events, there will be an opportunity for networking. So we always like to put the networking spin on things. This will be done through interactive chat on the event platform, as well as breakout rooms where you can actually go on video and join in conversations about specific topics. So we're really excited for the summit. If you haven't gotten your ticket yet, the summit is $99 for general entry. IAW members, you get a free ticket. If you log into the IAW community, go into the message boards. I posted a thread there that has the discount code. If you can't find it, shoot an email to memberservices@iawomen.com, and they'll respond with that coupon code so that you get the complimentary ticket to Together We Rise. If you're watching this on our Facebook feed today and you're not a member, what you'll find is that you can actually join IAW today for $99 for a year of membership. That gets you your summit ticket as well. So it's a really great offer. It's a really great opportunity to jump in and start exploring the community while also taking advantage of the summit. I'm going to pause here for just a moment because I want to make sure that there's no comments over on my Facebook page. Okay, I think we're good. All right, the other thing, sorry, one last point on the summit. So we are going to be recording the sessions. They'll be available for 30 days after. So I realize March 12th is a Saturday. We intentionally plan these for a Saturday because we know that fitting in a summit format midweek when we're all busy with work can be difficult. You'll be able to pop in and out. The agenda was just posted to the website. You'll be able to pop in and out as you want throughout the day. Everything is recorded. To get access to the recordings, you have to be pre-registered. All of the recordings will be stored within the Summit platform. So even if you can't join us live, click that link to get your ticket, because that is your access to the recordings as well. The recordings will only be available for 30 days within the platform. So if you haven't already registered for the Summit, take a moment to do that. I'll make sure that we get the link sent out. If you submit your Share Your Ask, I'll make sure that the link goes out with those Share Your Ask results as well. But you can also visit info.iowomen.com/together-we-rise. It's listed on the page here. And you can see the full lineup there. You can get the ticket link there. Again, if you're an IAW member, reach out to member services at iowomen.com for that discount code, or log in to the community and you can find it listed there as well. All right, moving along, I also want to point out, if you are watching this on, obviously, if you're watching the stream, it means you're already in our Facebook group and we're thrilled to have you there. If you haven't already, we did recently launch a new Facebook group. It's, if you go into groups and search IO Women Connect, you can see the URL on the bottom of the screen here, but a great place to go and connect with people and engage. So I like to make a plug for it. Now, if you're in the group now and you're watching this, I'd love to see a hello in the chat. Let us know that you're listening. But we look forward to posting lots of great resources in that group. So definitely connect there as well. All right, so that's kind of what's new in the community. Today, I really want to dive into the topic of networking, and specifically how building authentic connections can have a massive impact on your success. I think we can all agree that there's power in networking, and when you spend your time in the right rooms with the right people, you often will walk away with a piece of information or a new contact or a resource that's going to help fuel power your success. But so often I hear from people that are frustrated because their networking efforts they're just not resulting in any gain. They're not, they find they spend a lot of time, they're trying to cover all their bases, but they're not seeing the gain. We also saw a massive shift with COVID when all the in-person stuff shut down, everything went virtual. So the format of meeting people and engaging with people has changed. And now we're shifting back to in-person, but it's a little bit different. Oh, I see Valerie wants the Facebook link. Valerie, we'll make sure you get that Facebook link. And Latika, I'm glad you love the Facebook group. I love the chat. So I want to talk about how do we go about building authentic connections? What is an authentic connection, and how is that going to power our success? So I have 5 tips lined up for you here. And I want to start with authenticity, because what is authenticity? And it's really showing up as your true self, right? And authentic connections can really only happen when both parties bring their true selves into the conversation. So often this happens when we show up in a space that's supportive, it's open, they're encouraging of you to show your true self. I'm sure we've all been in that room that just didn't feel warm and welcoming. Maybe you were intimidated by other people. Maybe they felt more successful than you. Maybe they had different goals or aligned on different values. This can be really uncomfortable. It can be icky. It may feel like a waste of your time. And when you're in those situations, it's really hard to show up as your true self. So authenticity, I heard this really well explained on a personal branding webinar recently, where there's only one of you. And if you're putting this person out in the world, but you're this person in real life, it's going to become really difficult for you to manage those two personas. And when you show up authentically every single time consistently, you're going to better connect with people around you. So my first tip for creating authentic connections: find the right circles. If you're the type of person who registers for every single networking event or every single professional development event, and you're kind of spreading yourself thin because you're in so many places, you're going to wear yourself out really quickly. And you're going to find that the people in those rooms aren't necessarily the people that align with your values and your goals. So how do you find the right circles? And some of this is, I will apologize. Give me one moment. I will apologize. My AirPods are charged in their case and they like to randomly connect when I'm on Zoom. So sometimes my audio goes in and out. And if you don't hear me at any point, let me know in the chat, but it looks like it's unconnected from the AirPods. So we should be good. But so how do we go about finding the right circles or the right rooms of people? Because if you're you're spreading yourself too thin, you're going to wear yourself out, and then you're not going to get the benefits from it. And then you're just going to end up really frustrated. So I like to start with, what are your interests and hobbies? If you're spending time with the people who have similar interests, similar hobbies, there's going to be some natural alignment there. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that you're all in the same business group, right? It doesn't mean that you're all doing the same thing. But to give you an example here, so when I moved to Massachusetts about 7 years ago, I had kids in elementary school, and one of the things I did was join the PTA, Parent Teacher Association. And through that association, I met other people who had kids the same age as me and who had similar interests. We all wanted to support something. We were proud of the school. We wanted to be there for our kids. And it wasn't necessarily, I didn't join that group looking for clients. At the time, I offered my services as a freelance marketing consultant. So I built websites, I did social media marketing, I wrote emails. And I had just moved from Connecticut to Massachusetts. So my client list was one. I'd cut all my Connecticut clients out, and I was really starting from scratch again. But I didn't show up at my PTA meetings going, I need to find a client. I need to find a client. I showed up to meet people. I showed up to say, who are you? How are you? Where did you come from? What do you do? And through those conversations, so many times somebody would say, oh, wait, you do websites? I know somebody who needs a website. So I didn't go into the PTA meeting expecting to meet clients. I went to the PTA meeting because that's where my interest lied. And through the dialogue, through the authentic connection, I found my way to business clients. The other way that you can go about this is, what are your goals? Because sometimes you'll find groups where you have the same goals, or you have the same alignment from a career perspective. The example I like to give here is, I'm part of a group on Facebook that is all about email marketing. And I spend a lot of time in that group because historically I've written a lot of emails. I've done a lot of email marketing. And so my goals to improve that skill set align me with the people that are in that group. So 2 examples, hopefully those are helpful. But when you find the right circles, it clicks. When you find the right circles, you don't feel like you're sorry, my AirPods did it again. When you spend your time in the right circles, you don't feel like you're zapping your energy. You don't feel like it's a waste of your time. You walk away feeling empowered and supported and encouraged. So my first tip is, find the right circles. Next, be yourself. So I talked about authenticity, and I gave my example about personal branding, and you really want to show up consistently as yourself everywhere. So this means both online and in person. What is your LinkedIn profile look like? What is your profile image? What does your background say? Is it consistent? Is what you share on Facebook the same as Instagram and LinkedIn? It doesn't all have to be the same content, but you should have the same personal brand applied. This can really require you to be vulnerable, to step out of your comfort zone, to show up as who you truly are. But when you show up as who you truly are, people are going to tap into that energy. Look at this woman. She looks so excited. She's happy to be here. And when you show up in a space where you're comfortable and you feel safe and you can really be your true self, you can be authentic, and people are going to just naturally be drawn into your energy when they see that. Next, engage in active listening. So as it says here, active listening requires you to listen attentively to a speaker, understand what they're saying, respond and reflect on what's being said, and retain the information for later. This keeps both listener and speaker actively engaged in the conversation. So what does this mean? This means that when we're talking, when we're having a conversation, you are completely engaged in what the other person's saying. You're making eye contact. You're giving verbal cues that you're listening. You're repeating things back. You're asking questions in line. You're not interrupting. You're not putting words in their mouth. There's so many distractions these days. There's everywhere. There's noise around us everywhere. And we end up missing a lot of the important details because we're just not listening. Active listening, you can Google active listening skills. There's a lot of good resources out there about how to how to get better at active listening, improve that skill, because it will serve you not only when you're building your network, but it also will serve you in other relationships as well. It pulls in visual cues, which is one of the reasons I encourage video on. So I'm here with you on video right now because I can give you visual cues as I'm talking to you. You can feel more of the energy when somebody's on camera. And I know that with the end of in-person events, I know we're getting back to that, which is great. But if you're connecting in a video or Zoom format, video on is always going to help to make sure that you are active listening, that you both are. I know that we have Zoom fatigue. I know that there's a lot of challenges with always showing up online. So do what's right for you, but just remember that when somebody can see your visual cues and hear you, it'll make for a better connection. It'll make for a better conversation. The other thing I find when I'm on video, I'm not looking at what's going on this screen, and I'm not looking at my phone. I'm not as distracted because I want people to see that I'm really present. I'm here for the conversation. And if my video is off, you have no idea what's going on in the background. I do turn my video off if my kids are about to interrupt, if I can time it well enough. That happens. I do turn my video off if I'm just not in the right spot to be on video. But as much as I can, I try to show up and really make sure that everyone knows that I'm present for our conversation. All right, next, my fourth tip, my notes say my 34th tip. That's a typo on my end. I think this is number 4, but get comfortable with this question. How can I support you? When you meet somebody new, when you're building authentic connections, the idea is to give, and give. You want to make sure that people know that you are there to provide value to somebody else, that you're there to support the relationship. You're not there to take, and ask. But if you walk away from every conversation saying or ending with, how can I support you? What do you need right now? How is there anything I can do to introduce you to somebody, or to share a resource, or to give you a link? How can I support you? So if you shift your mentality to every time you show up to a group, you're not there to sell. You're not there just to get a business card or a LinkedIn connection request, but you're really there to, how can I support you? Those conversations are going to feel really authentic and genuine, and people are going to know, like, and trust you. So the how can I support you question, adding that into your repertoire of how you end your conversations will really, really help you. All right, finally, my final tip here, be consistent and follow through on your words. Being consistent means showing up every time the meeting is scheduled, on time, prepared, ready to listen, engage, and connect. If you're always running late, people are going to remember that. If you miss the meeting, people are going to forget about that. It happens from time to time. It happens. If you're late, if you miss a meeting, apologize. Put it out there. I'm sorry, I messed up. But make sure next time that you're there on time. Make sure that the next time you show up with that consistency. Next, follow through means taking action on what you say you're going to do. So if you're going to share a resource or a connection or a contact, make it happen. Follow up in a timely way so that people trust you, right? If I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it today, and you're going to have it in time to go take your action. So consistency and follow through are super important in helping to build those authentic relationships. Any questions on any of this? Let me just double check it and see if I have any. I don't see any on the Facebook group, but if anyone's watching live and you have questions, pop them in the chat. I always love things to be interactive. So I do have a couple of resources that I want to point out. And if you're an IAW member, you received links to these in an email this morning that I believe came from an IAW Monday Motivation. I'll also send this out. So anyone who's watching live in the Zoom room will get a link to this. But there's a few resources that we have available that help you with some of this. So how to establish rapport in less than 5 minutes. So this is those early introductions. And how do I off the bat help you ease into liking me and trusting me? A foolproof formula for warming up a cold network. It happens, right? Sometimes we're not so good about staying in touch with people. Sometimes we realize that people we met 5 years ago could serve us now, but you can't, as I said before, you can't just show up with an ask, right? We have to warm them up. We have to re-engage them. Just like if you're in sales and you have a cold lead, what can you do to nurture them a little bit so that your cold contact becomes warmer? How to improve your small talk skills. This is a great one. If you struggle with imposter syndrome or confidence, or you're overwhelmed at the, oops, sorry guys, I'm trying to mute my notifications, but it's not going to work. Okay. How to improve your small talk skills is really for the person who struggles with imposter syndrome, has a hard time showing up, a little introverted. If your small talk skills need some work, check out this resource. And then finally, the daily authenticity checklist. And I love this because it's 10 questions. It's quick and easy to run down, but it allows you to look at, what did I do yesterday? What am I doing today? Am I staying true to myself? And it's simple questions. It's a simple activity, but something you can just pin on the wall as a reminder of, this is how I show up authentically every single time. So I really like that one. Before I wrap up here, I do want to pop the share your ask in the chat one more time. So let me just get it in here. And I see some comments in Zoom, so I will circle back to those in just a minute. It looks like it's still live on the Facebook group, so that's good. So Sharon says, great tips, Megan, building deep strategic relationships that create value immediately and over time, and to be the conduit of information, connection, and introductions that our network could never access otherwise. Sharon, that's great. And Sharon is somebody who I credit as being really good at networking. She's really good at showing up, being consistent, engaging, providing value, and being a part of the follow-up. So Sharon has this down, and I highly recommend, if you haven't connected with Sharon already, she's a great person to connect with. She's in the Philadelphia area, but wonderful, wonderful member. Thank you, Sharon, for adding that. Anybody else have any other questions, tips, resources, anything you want to share while we're live here today? More love for Sharon. All right. Well, as we start to wrap up here, I want to remind everyone, so the best way to get in touch, member services at iowomen.com. That will connect you with our member support team. They're fantastic. If you have any questions about membership, about resources, about registering for events, about accessing your profile, reach out to them. They'll schedule time. They'll hop on a call with you. If you want to connect with your local chapter, local chapters office at iowomen.com. We host local chapter events all throughout the month. So if you're looking to connect with your local chapter, that's the best email address for you. These, I like to tell people, so that member services email address, it's not necessarily just for an account question. They can help you with your profile. They can help you find resources. They can help you with events. If you're struggling with something within your career or business right now, give them a call, ask them what they recommend, because they know this community inside and out. They know all of the best webinars we've hosted. They know all the best resources. So often they'll be able to point you towards the right people or the right resource to help you overcome a challenge. So definitely use them for more than just account questions. Use them if you need support in any way. I think Linda is actually on here. Yep. Linda McKenzie is one of our support reps, and she's actually listening here live today. Hi, Linda. And often is the person who will call you back if you have a question. So a great resource to have. And I think a really great part of the membership value, where it's not just a plug and play, go log in and figure it out. We have the support there. So if you have questions or you need support, they're just a phone call or email away. So as we wrap up here, thank you to everyone that watched live. I always love seeing all of you. I'm super excited. March is going to be fantastic. March is one of my favorite months. My birthday is also in March. My first daughter was born in March. But we have Women's History Month. We have International Women's Day. We have our summit, which is going to be amazing. We have almost 30 speakers lined up for this summit, and the topics are fantastic. I'm really excited about it. So I hope to see you all then. Definitely get your asks in. So the share your ask form will stay open through to this evening so that I can get the results circulated tomorrow. But if you need any support, definitely reach out to member services. If you're in the IAW community, you're also always welcome to connect with me directly. You can send me messages through there. I love hearing from our members. I love knowing what you guys are up to. So definitely check in. Thanks again for watching here today. I look forward to seeing you more throughout the month of March. Lots of great things going on. And I hope you all have a great day. Bye.